Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the core gamers out there. CAJ-Man 777 here, welcoming you to the first episode of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. That is right, we are playing the last entry in the current trilogy before Metroid Prime 4 ends up dropping. We are going to be doing this run on its hardest difficulty and 100% in the game, just like we have with all of our previous Metroid Prime games. But unlike the previous Metroid Prime games, this game has a harder difficulty that we'll be playing on, known as Hypermode. And for those of you who saw the stream last year, and I think around August, we did an 100% run and I died about 12 times. But I am looking forward to completely changing the scale of this game, and I am absolutely looking forward to playing this game and getting through like the lore of how all three Prime games connect. So without further ado, let us start it up. And I have already completed this file right here on Hypermode before. I had to erase it though, but we are going to be going right back into Hypermode here. But before I get into this, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our donators over there on Patreon. Valentine Blaze, MickeyPhorGens, MaddiLeigh, Thomas, Eraisuithon Sotiri, and Liotos, the Lotus, for their continued support to the channel. I would also like to give a quick shout out and thank you to the wonderful, wonderful Kitty Woomy of the Fun Times with Woomy's crew for making the thumbnail art of my Inkling in Dark Samus's armor. Now, we'll be getting into that later, but we have a long way to go, so let us get right into the Hypermode run, and let's play. Ship log, autopilot navigation initiated, destination coordinates 0.0473. Now, I can't read that fast enough. Life support status, cryogenic system stable, heart rate 15 beats per minute, blood pressure. Life support anomaly detected. Neurological readings indicate destination coordinates question mark. Lots of binary. I love that cutscene. You just immediately start with a shot of Dark Samus.
Cryostasis shutdown complete. Vital signs stable. Activating Eraisuith. Suit diagnostic complete. All systems functional. Command interface enabled. Requesting.
So, as many of you know, Metroid Prime 3 is a game on the Wii, so we have one-to-one pointer controls, also with a couple motion control gimmicks. If I really wanted to, I could pull out the scan visor right now and start scanning everything in my ship. Scan visor works a little bit differently in this game. If you end up pressing the minus button, you actually switch to visors with your combat being in the middle. This visor being a visor we will get later down the line, but your top one is going to be the scan visor, as you can technically scan and press all these buttons if you really wanted to with the A button, which is really cool. And you can kind of just do this. Couple little things you can mess with. Analyzing biohazard scan. Status clear. Chozo Various suit online. Should tell me the version. I think it does as well. No, it doesn't tell me the version. Anyways, with the one-to-one motion controls, we are going to have more control over our aim than ever before, along with being able to freely lock onto enemies and not even just shoot the locked on enemies. We can lock onto an enemy and shoot an enemy off to the side if we really wanted to. But there's a lot of interaction in this game with the motion controls, and they are used very effectively and not in a gimmicky sort of way. But here we go.
Galactic Federation fighters approaching. Incoming transmission.
Unidentified vessel, please switch to secure radio frequency and transmit your identity code. We're standing by.
So we're gonna press this right away. It gets into a little bit of, we've got a little bit of narrative going on here. So this symbol followed by that symbol, as I missed the button, this symbol, and then this one. I believe that identity code does change. These locations of it change every now and then. They're just welcoming us on behalf of the Galactic Federation. Here we go.
Proceed to the command ship Olympus. You've been cleared for docking bay 5. Welcome back, Samus.
Here's the thruster controls. Alright, now, see, this is where we're going to get a little bit of the motion control gimmick going in right in the beginning of the game here. Just got to push this forward with the Wii Remote. And we are set to go. Aboard the GFS Olympus, our new starting area of the game that is technically going to be our tutorial, as all Metroid Prime games do have them. This game does change the way things are done a little bit, and you'll see that as we get through the game. And here we go. That music means we are back in it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do, actually, I could technically scan these. Technically, I don't need to scan anything. Because technically on this playthrough I've already scanned a ton of enemies, so the scans kind of stay from my last run through. So if I missed anything, that would be why. So right now we're going to calibrate the weapon. If we hit Z to lock on, you can see that it locks onto that specific target, the one we are looking at. All we need to do is shoot these targets freely. We could do it with a free hand if we really wanted to.
Operation complete. Samus, welcome to the flagship Olympus. Admiral Dane is waiting for you in the briefing room. I will upload the location to you now.
And we are going to get our first map. The maps in Metroid Prime series, they have not changed. They are still going to maintain our three-dimensional look of the maps where we can pan and zoom out in and out of all these maps. Very nice, very useful as we can still look around. And obviously, if I were to scan these guys, these are Federation Marine Standard GF military personnel trained for combat situations. So right over here, if we scan this, you can see Control Terminal operates nearby cargo bay. Control Terminal is currently offline. And we have some crates that technically, right here, if we wanted to, we could shoot these and blow up the crates. Makes the guys freak out, which I think is hilarious. But these are, I believe, GFS fleet mechanics, yes. Mechanics that pretty much just work on the ship. As we are going to be going through, as I miss my jump. And look, I have space jump. They never take it away from you in this game. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? As we are going to get us, whereas we're going to start moving here. We do need to shoot these two targets with a charge beam to get things underway. And we are going to get, obviously, all of our favorite Metroid Prime sounds from the first two games. This is going to give us a quick little ramp. And if we press C, we can go into our Morph Ball. The game doesn't tell you this, but Morph Ball in this game now carries a lot more momentum than anything else, which is really cool. So all we need to do right now is just pretty much walk through everything. Okay, we need to interact with this. Press for access code. It's usually the same code every time. Log in Samus Aran. It should be like 9 something. 13576. Okay. Yeah, it's always the same code when you start the game, no matter which game you're playing on. It always is going to be 13576 when you start the game. So it makes it very easy if you want to do this game on multiple playthroughs.
Try not to move during the procedure. We need a...
I understand the procedure.
Subject is cleared for the command bridge.
You may proceed.
Of course.
That is Gore. We will be introduced to him very soon.
You to enter the containment area.
See, the push thing never works unless you do it real slow.
Please step into the
That I did it really fast.
security scan. Initiating DNA verification. DNA verified. Registration number 13576. Identified as bounty hunter Samus Aran. Preparing biohazard scan. Please approach the scan terminal.
It automatically does this one for us, unlike the one on the ship. Status, clear. Shows off area suit. It's going to say the same thing that it did last time, so we do have to wait this one through. And of course, Gore doesn't have to do this, but we have to play the Wii Motion gimmick, because, you know, why the heck not? Notice how slow it's pushing forward. I'm relatively close to my screen. So, those are going to get really annoying. Now, these ones, these are lore. These, we're going to see a couple of these. Olympus-class battleship. So, we're going to actually read off this, because this is lore. Olympus-class battleship is the first Federation capital ship designed to use the onboard Aurora unit. They are flagships of the fleets they serve and usually commanded by an officer of flag rank. Battleships of this class have smaller crews than most ships of a similar size due to the presence of the Aurora unit. The space saved in crew support is used for more battle systems. The enormous vessels are powered by fuel gel, making this scarce commodity of extreme value to the Federation. Very cool. And all we need to do is just continue to walk through here. There's nothing really important, as we do need to get through here. We can actually talk to people if we wanted to. Which is kind of neat. They do have voice acting in this game, and obviously we have our standard elevator terminals. They have been changed up a little bit. We just activate them with our hand scanner now. Another thing they changed in the Metroid Prime series is the elevators now face forward, and you don't have to turn around to get to the other side of the elevators half the time now. Wonderful thing, because I was sick and tired of turning around. You can see just a bunch of people just kind of talking. Nothing really important going on. We're just making our way to the bridge of the command ship, as we are going to get a pretty nice view of the outside world right now. Very cool. And keep in mind, this game did come out in 2007, so it is a much older Metroid Prime game, but it is the current most one in the series until Metroid Prime 4 obviously comes out. Now, we need to go over here. Believe it or not, this is the only required save that we have to do in the entire game. It is a required save, so as we get into some things, we're just going to hold down charge shots. Could have scanned those if I wanted to. So I'm not going to save, and I'm going to choose not to. But if I click no here, you will see what happens. So it is just going to recharge my suit. Technically, I was taking no damage or anything, but I am going to get recharged here pretty nicely. Game was not saved. Energy was fully replenished. But if we do that, and we walk over here, you'll notice that he's still standing there.
You're good to go. Admiral Dean is waiting inside.
So, technically, I always thought that was a required save. It is not actually a required save. Which is kind of funny, because they give you that save station, but now we're about to actually get a little bit of story behind what's about to go on here in Metroid Prime 3. So, let us go right to the meeting chamber and get this underway, shall we? You're about to hear some lovely voice acting as well. As you can see, we've got 3 interesting people here. We saw Gore already, and see 2 more. And there's another me.
Enough. Looks like everyone's here now. Before I begin the briefing, let me introduce 242, the flagship's Aurora unit.
An organic supercomputer. Fascinating. It's my understanding that the Galactic Federation's core network is comprised of such units.
That is correct, Core. And we serve as the network's master control. However, currently the network is down,
That seems inefficient.
but necessary. You see, 7 days ago, we discovered that all Aurora units were infected with an unknown virus. We were forced to bring the network down. Fortunately, our scientists were quickly able to devise a vaccine.
Unit 242 was the first AU to receive the vaccine. We were able to completely purge the virus.
Where did this virus come from?
We believe the virus is of space pirate origin. 4 months ago, the GFS Valhalla went missing while on a training mission in the Klar Nebula. The ship's logs revealed that they were attacked by a space pirate raiding vessel.
What is the logic in disrupting a Federation training mission?
They're pirates. How could they resist a prize like that?
Contrada has a point.
Then it's a shame you weren't. The pirates boarded the Valhalla and gained access to the ship's Aurora unit, 313. This is how they were able to hack into the network and plant the virus.
Thanks to our security protocols, we were able to shut down the network before the damage when the virus became irreversible.
But we're still vulnerable. If the pirates decide to launch a major offensive, we'd be hard-pressed to defend ourselves. We must rid the other AUs of that virus and bring the network back online. That's where you come in. We need you to deliver the vaccine to each of the AUs in this system. We'd also like you to investigate the pirates' activity in the area. We need to know what they're up to.
It's like Metroid Prime 1, where you're kind of chasing one of the commanders of the Space Pirates, MaddiLeigh. Yes, he is a commander. That is official. Ridley is actually a commander of the Space Pirates. He does control some of their units. But you'll find out some things are going to be very interesting soon. Not going to find out yet. I don't want to spoil too much yet as we get into it, as we still have this cutscene going on. But we pretty much have a similar objective to Metroid Prime 1. Besides, you know, cleanse the planet. It's more track down space pirates.
Condition red. All personnel to combat-ready stations. Repeat. Condition red.
Sir, a space pirate attack fleet has just warped out of some sort of wormhole. They're also heading for Sector 0, the planet's home base.
Damn! They're targeting the planetary defense system. Get down to the planet and aid the ground troops. Stop those pirates from disabling the defense system. Go!
And, ladies and gentlemen, that is where everything else is coming into play now. They said they would be hard-pressed to defend if the Space Pirates attack, and sure enough, right as if on cue, the Space Pirates are indeed ready to attack. So as we wait for this load trigger, you will see exactly how big the Space Pirate fleet actually is attacking this place.
Samus, get to your ship. We need you down on the planet. Until we get the fleet in formation.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty powerful laser. Look at the Space Pirate fleet. They are there. They are everywhere. And this is only just a fragment of what is actually attacking the GFS Olympus and its fleet right now. So as we go through here, you'll notice that we are finally going to be introduced to our first enemies, these Space Pirates themselves. Pirate Militia expendable infantry units, lightly armed and armored. The pirates have not enhanced all of their fighting forces. They continue to use militia units in battle. These groups are made up of slaves and criminals and did not receive the phase-on enhancements given to the regular army troopers. They are surprisingly obedient to the upper castes within the pirate military. Rumor has it that disobedient militia members often find themselves as dinner for regular army troopers. Little bit dark there as the Space Pirates, we now learn that they are cannibals, but as you can see, they do quite a bit of damage on Hypermode. I only took 2 hits, and I went from 99 to 77 health. That is not a joke at all, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be taking a lot more damage than usual. Press and hold Z to lock onto objects, it will say. As this Space Pirate, as more Space Pirates are going to flee and try and kill these Federation troopers here. Now, these Federation troopers can indeed die, but if you actually kill these Space Pirates fast enough, you actually can assist in keeping them alive, which is really neat. But you got to keep them both alive, and then you would get an achievement or a trophy. But as you can see, if we walk inside here, this is a big Space Pirate boarding pod. These light crafts are used to pierce the bulkheads of larger ships. Space Pirate boarding pods are crude, even by their standards. They are composed of an H propulsion drive, a cramped crew transportation module, and a nose compact with high explosives. The pilot guides the pod toward the target ship, then rams it, detonating the explosives upon impact in an attempt to breach the hull. If a breach is created, the crew exits the pod. Of course, mishaps occur. Sometimes the explosives will go off prematurely, exposing the crew to the vacuum. Yeah, that's pretty rough. There is no shielding, so they can technically blow up the pods pretty quick. Space pirates have it rough here. And right here, we get another instance of an enemy. This is a... not that. These are crawl tanks here. They are the standard, pretty much, space pirate units that we will be fighting throughout a decent amount of the game, as we are going to be gathering a lot of health here, because we do want to keep our health up as we walk this way, and you'll see some things are about to go very wrong very quickly here. As you can see down there, that is an energy cell station. Houses an energy cell, distributes power to all room machinery and equipment. We'll be heading back through here later. But right now, we do have an objective, essentially. What we're going to do here, we're going to want to pop out the scan visor as a breach is about to be created by an exploding GFS ship here. We're going to try and save this guy very quickly here. The easiest way to do it, you're going to jump up here. You're going to scan this energy switch controls. You got to shoot it a couple times, and it saves the trooper. And as you can see, he's pretty out of it. Federation Marine, and if you talk to him, he actually is distressed.
Thanks for the help, Samus. The blast doors are down, so it looks like you have to find another way back to your ship.
And you can see the AU's casting orders. Now, if we go back here in this room, this energy cell powers things, and of course, we have some standard space pirates and the new space pirate battle theme as these space pirates, well, let's just say they're going to play some American football with this energy cell for a little bit until we kill them. As he gives it to the militia, our goal is to kill the members of the space pirate crew and deal with the other pirates at the same time. So we are going to try and deal with the armored pirates first, as they do indeed end up doing the most damage to you and to your crew. You do have to break the standard space pirate armor first in order to do something with it, as we actually can scan these guys right here and find out these are armored pirates, capable, expendable armored infantry units susceptible to explosives. Members of the armored pirate militia have been granted with lightweight armor suits for combat use. While this provides some additional resistance to beam weapons, they are still vulnerable to explosives, meaning missiles. Members of the armored pirate militia are mostly inept soldiers who have yet to die in combat. So, pretty much they're grunts. That's all they're pretty much saying, as we do need to kill all of them. We do not have very strong beam to penetrate their armor, as you can see. Even with them being in hyper mode, they are very, very difficult to obliterate. Even 2 shots will not do it. But as you may have noticed, the space pirates themselves in Metroid Prime 3 look a bit different than usual. Essentially, it's because they've been starting to enhance themselves with Phazon, and we'll get more into that lore a bit later as why they have enhanced themselves with Phazon. But there's a reason behind it, and we will discover that reason very quickly, as I'm actually going to chase this guy down to kill this guy very quickly, as he has a ton of health, but I want his health unit, as we have, you know, the last grunt who's going to run around with that little energy cell that I want, by the way. Can I have it, sir? Sir? Sir, sir, thank you. Thank you very much. So, portable GF energy cell. This unit must be returned to restore room power. Energy cell acquired. Return the cell to the socket to restore room power. That's exactly what we're going to do. As we do need to reinsert the energy cell. I had to back away from it. So essentially, you push it in and you twist it clockwise. So what you do for energy cells, there are 9 energy cells in the game, not including that one, and we are going to have to use them all. We are going to have to collect them all if we want to get 100% for this game. These are mini crawl tanks. Very annoying. Very annoying little things. If I actually scan these, you can see the names. These are crawl mites, but they also have crawl tanks. Luckily, they only do take 1 charge shot, and crawl tanks are absolutely obliterated. Luckily, as well, the charge beam seems to charge much faster in Metroid Prime 3 than any other Metroid Prime game. You may notice, though, that we're pretty much trapped with a bunch of crawl mines in the area, as we do need to obliterate all these crawl tanks. As you can see, another crawl tank just come out here, and you can see how much the crawl mines actually do. I need to be really careful here, or else I'm going to take a lot of damage. So we're going to sneak in here as fast as we can so we're not attacked by all the crawl mines at once, and we're going to head all the way around and into this morph ball tunnel, as we will stay safe. You can see Rundas up there. That is him. We have not scanned him because you don't really get a chance to scan him until later, but that is the Hunter Rundas. And we are going to be getting our first energy tank pretty much right away in this game. Especially when playing on harder difficulties, these energy tanks are super, super needed. Now, what's really cool about this game is you have your standard bomb jump, but if you flick the Wiimote upwards, you get a nice boost. You get a nice little ball jump. So essentially, you get a spring ball, which is really nice. And if you are playing the trilogy version of Metroid, if you're playing the trilogy version of any of the Metroid Prime games, they gave you this option because the trilogy version was done on the Wii. And notice we are in a, what is a, well, essentially the trash compactor of the area. We do need to scan this to activate it. And we are going to get our first bomb slot of the game, which obviously everybody remembers a bomb slot, but I don't need a bomb hop into these anymore. I can just spring ball into them, which is super nice. And of course, we're about to be ejected into space. Airlock cycling. Luckily, Samus has a space suit, so we'll be alright. Inconvenient entrance into the bottom of the ship, which you're wondering why space pirates aren't using. But gives us a nice little elevator back into the GFS Olympus here. As we are waiting for the airlock to cycle, once it cycles, we can move on through. And you can see there's our ship and a nice little JPEG image there in the background. And as Gondreda is also fighting a couple space pirates, the gate is going to lock. And our entrance is going to be blocked. But as you may also notice, there are some space pirates that I will be taking care of relatively quickly here, because you can still use the strafe function if you tap the B button while fighting the space pirates, and I will be using this strafe actually quite a lot through this playthrough, even more so than the other Metroid Prime games, because of how useful this strafe actually is in this game, as he got obliterated. So we are going to have to hop right up here, and we do have our, this is going to tell you how to double jump in the game very quickly, but we already know that we have a space jump. I missed that crawl tank by a mile, but that is one of the downsides of one-to-one pointer controls. So, tis unfortunate, but I love the one-to-one because it makes aiming a lot easier. Excuse me, sir, you are not welcome here. Not in my house. Be gone. Be gone! That guy should be dead, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. He'll die in, like, one more shot. It literally was one shot. That's incredibly funny. So this is a Stiletto-class fighter. It's essentially a fighter ship for the Federation. Very easy, and you can see we got another crawl tank here. And immediately, we are actually going to get our first upgrade here. And what is it other than the missile launcher? And just like Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, there are 255 missiles for you to collect. So we have 250 missiles to go. But the way they change missiles in this game is very interesting. You actually press down on the D-pad to fire the missiles. It's actually highly effective and works super well for breaking things. As you can see, we got little small energy units. And I didn't really scan all these, but as we do need to activate this right away to get to where we need to go. You're going to notice that there's going to be some space pirates that will appear up there in a minute as we need to shoot all of these little targets with charge beams. Luckily, the aim is kind of nice to you, and it's not super, super mean. Luckily, but there are some space pirates up there, and there are these as well. These are called sentry drones, and I'm going to be scanning these actually right away. These are arrow mines. Essentially, they open one at a time, and your goal with the arrow mines is you shoot them when the shield drops. Now, I do have to worry about the space pirate that is shooting me from the top there. But we saved the GF trooper, so we get a thing for that. But we also need to take care of this space pirate, and if I blast a missile at him, it will pretty much wreck him right away. But we're not quite done yet. This is a save station to restock on energy. We're not going to need it, especially for what's about to happen. So we're actually going to press no here. We're going to save in a little bit, because we're actually almost done with the tutorial level of the area, which is when Metroid Prime 3 starts getting into the fun stuff. But what a way to start Metroid Prime 3 for those of you who have not played it before. You're getting right into the action with Samus Aran. Technically, there was a little bit of atmospheric build-up and, like, kind of a little bit of world building. Not like Metroid Prime 1, and certainly not like Metroid Prime 2. But Metroid Prime 3 kind of wants to throw you right into the action. This is probably the most action-centric game of the Prime series, but let us get started with what we need to do as we are almost back at our ship here. But here comes a cutscene, and you all know what that means. I hope. We're about to fight our first boss, as that GF Trooper just got dominated by this thing. Look at the size difference, ladies and gentlemen. Your first boss is literally 5 times the size of Samus, pretty much. Meet the Berserker Lord. Berserker Lord. Phasite plating on its head can only be destroyed by projectiles it fires. Let's read a little bit of lore. Berserker Lords are highly resistant to damage. Their shoulders are the only unprotected area vulnerable to standard weapon fire. Their main defense lies in the head-mounted phasite plating, which can only be destroyed by the projectiles it fires. Berserker Lords are a desperate measure, designed to exploit Phazon as much as possible. The few Berserker Knights that survive the highest level of corruption are promoted to Lord status. Lords are distinguished by their ornate phasite plating and the Phazon reserves they carry on their backs. That's right! This is essentially a space pirate, ladies and gentlemen, that we are fighting right now. But the Berserker Lord, he's pretty easy. He does not have very powerful attacks. He's got shockwave generation. He has essentially a laser. And he's probably he is a nice level tutorial boss. You really don't need to take much damage against this guy. His attacks involve beams, shooting vomit. Yes, that is vomit. That is disgusting, but this game is rated T, so don't forget that game is rated T. So all you need to do for Berserker Lord is just shoot the targets on his shoulders, ladies and gentlemen, for the first half of the Berserker Lord fight. And once you break both phasite shoulder plates, different things will happen and different things will occur as he will start shooting these purple orbs at you very quickly. And here comes the more vomit attack, which is absolutely disgusting. It's just stop this. Why do you do this? You're just vomiting on me. It's not cool. You're not gonna hit me. But now that we've broken the Berserker Lord's plating, he's gonna start shooting these purple orbs, and all you need to do is actually shoot these with one shot to knock them back at the Berserker Lord. He is a very easy fight, and you are going to repeat this process until you break his phasite armor. So what I'm actually going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is he does have his own theme. So I am going to take this opportunity and let you guys listen to the Berserker Lord's theme quite a bit. And luckily, he only does 4 damage per beam as the first boss, but it will disable your weapon system. But here you guys go and enjoy the Berserker Lord theme for a little bit as I am going to unload millions of shots into him. So now if we scan the Berserker Lord again, the phasite plating can only be destroyed. But now the phasite plating has been destroyed. It's going to say the same thing, but you may notice that the phasite plating on his back is now destroyed. I know I didn't give you much of his theme, but now he starts bringing out his more powerful attacks. He can create one-handed and two-handed shockwaves. All you need to do is double jump over these and just destroy him with charge beam shots. It's not very difficult. He is indeed the first boss of the game as we are getting right into it. He is a very easy boss. He's a really cool intro boss, though. So, as, you know, I kind of went over his phase 2 attacks. Just enjoy his theme some more as I finish him off. And that's Berserker Lord. Kablam! Oh, I love that. He just gets immediately hit by a ship. He is very dead, by the way. We'll never see him again. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. As we are going to board the ship, it is going to actually allow us to save, I believe, here. But we are not going to save, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I am going to have to call it an episode here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption as we got right into the action. And in the next episode, we are going to the planet where this Federation fleet is staged to protect the planetary defense system. So until then, this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.